Good evening. This is Street Talk, and I'm Father Russ Carmichael. And with me tonight, my co-hostess isn't here tonight. She's out sick. Tambria Moore is not with us. She's not feeling well. I have Robert Burlon is with me tonight. And we were going to do I was going to do a show on bullying. We have a woman whose daughter has been bullied in school and had some problems and has gone through a situation where it's been difficult to get people to deal with that issue. The lady got sick and couldn't make it tonight. In fact, and then we had it snowed out. One of the things. So I'm here live tonight. So if you want to say hello and call in, this is really me tonight. It's not a video. But I do want to talk. The reason I mention that, because this children has to do with schools and education. I did want to talk. Well, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. But, I did want to talk about a little bit about the education system and my aggravation. Don't tell me I probably forgot it. Did I forget it? Guess what? The New London school system, is which you read in the paper too, Bobby, is ADA.
Not in compliance.
It's not in compliance. Not one single classroom
or public building
is.
ADA compliance.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is that's the American Disabilities Act. For those people who don't know what I'm talking about, ADA, okay, which has been around for a long time now. I mean, I worked on it years and years ago. I worked on it in Arizona. My God, with the Tech Act, got to be 20-something years ago, and I was shocked that. The school is not in compliance, not one.
Nope.
Not one building, not one classroom, and it was really, well, I shouldn't be shocked.
The only one...
I shouldn't be shocked because this school system is either second or the worst in the state right now.
The only one that may be in compliance, and I would think it is in compliance, is the new Jennings.
The new one, I would think the new school.
Yeah,
maybe,
the new Jennings, yeah.
Yeah, that should be standard.
It only opened a couple of years ago, so I would say, yeah.
So that one should be with the standard, but oh my God, that is horrendous. So, but I thought I had, the article on that, but well, I'll get into school stuff later. I want to mention that a couple of things, okay, for those. Saturday on education, okay, the young man that's running for mayor, Darrell Fannuzio. Boy, for an Italian, I'm gonna get killed, right? Fannuzio, nice young man, right? I really, I've had a lot of conversation with him. Like, obviously, I like the guy. The guy is sharp. The guy's a club fighter, for crying out loud. So half of my family are fighters, so that's probably why we like him. And he's smart, and he's an attorney, and breath of fresh air. But Saturday, I believe it is Saturday, and you'll have to check. I think in the paper, he's going to do a program on education, asked the community to go over and talk and vote, and invited them in. I believe that's at the library. If I'm not, and if Tambria happens to be home or watching, or I know who else watches us, Auntie Gail maybe, grab on the internet and find out when Darrell is doing that meeting, because he's asking for community input and stuff like that. We, of course, I won't say we, I'll say me. I am totally frustrated with the New London school system that we've tried to deal with for some years. I think it's a total failure, and I believe in chartered schools and private schools, because when you got a failure this bad, I don't believe there's anything you can do. So I know that Darrell and I would have some controversy about that. He believes in hope. You know, he believes coming off the canvas, you know, after you've been knocked out in the 8th round, you might be able to make it by the 10th, but I don't. I think the schools are horrendous, and we got the worst pregnancy rate in the state. We got poor people failing. We lose 50% of our students by the 10th grade that don't graduate. We even had, you know, we've sat down with principals and had students who graduated that couldn't read or write, as you know. We did that with Mr. Gregory at one of the big meetings about a couple of years ago. Couple of years ago. That's been 2 years. So I'm really frustrated with the school system and the way things are. And further, it's probably good I don't have that article with me, because I'd be ranting and raving about the American Disabilities Act. Okay. Oh, gee, because we got a call right away. Good evening. You're on Street Talk with Father and Bobby.
Yes, good evening. How are you doing?
Trying.
I hear you talking about the school system and all the problems they have.
Yeah.
And the early teenage pregnancy.
Yeah.
Is that the school system's fault or the parents' fault?
Oh, I think instruction in schools is part of the problem. I think the school fails us in education. You know, it's an I believe it's an education problem, whether or not young people understand the consequences of their action. So from my perspective, it's probably both. Okay?
I agree with you, and I think you're right on that. I just didn't want people blaming it all on the school.
Oh, no. No. Well, we know, and I'm probably sure you know, that anybody who's done real studies about the issue know that we have parents that have problems. They're not graduates themselves, usually. Okay, so when we do statistical studies, we can see that the parents have failed most of the time themselves, and the guidance of the child is lacking, and so yeah, there's a serious. But as a community, I happen to believe that we as a community should be helping and do something about that, instead of creating a greater problem, which we are doing.
I agree with you, and I think you're right. I just didn't want you blaming it on the school system, and I agree with you.
Bless you. That's
God bless you, and have a good night, sir.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's, no, I don't, well, I don't blame the school system for a lot of things, and although I do blame, I blame the people who are supporting the school system and not having it, you know, graduation and stuff like that.
You mean letting them graduate?
Well, I blame failing. I blame failing teachers and stuff like that. I don't believe that you should get an automatic raise. If you're running failing classes and you're not doing the job, that's one of the only businesses aside from corrections where you can totally fail. You can fail your job and you get a raise every year, and you're going to stay there. Nobody's going to fire you or anything. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's like. You know, the people who teach creationism in school. I mean, it's outrageous. They don't know what they're doing, and they're not in compliance, especially if they're in a public school. But I'll get back to education. Let me get to